Coach told me I can never miss a Monday. Hey, look, it's never miss a Monday. Hey, look, it's never miss a Monday. Hey, look, it's never miss a Monday. Coach told me I can never miss a Monday. Hey, look, it's never miss a Monday. Hey, look, it's never miss a Monday. Wine on Saturday, wine on Sunday. But Coach told me I can never miss a Monday.
Good evening. Welcome to the Monday Night Live Real Estate Call-In Show with Coach Mike. I'm your host, Rick Davis. If you don't follow me on social media, I invite you to do so at Prime Real Estate Rick. If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in residential commercial real estate anywhere in the great state of Texas, but especially here in our lovely city of Houston, you can reach me directly on Instagram at Prime Real Estate Rick. As always, it's an honor and a pleasure to be here and host this show with you this week. And I want to invite everyone in our audience, take your smartphone and record yourself asking Coach Mike a relevant real estate question. And you can submit your question to the Monday Night Live Real Estate Call-In Show hotline at the number you see on the screen. And our super producer, Jay Joseph, may very well choose your question to be answered on tonight's show. So without any further ado, I'd like to introduce my co-host. He is not only a highly successful real estate broker, but he is also the co-founder of Brooks & Davis Real Estate Firm. I want to thank him for carving some time out of his busy schedule. And I'd like to introduce CEO Coach Mike, Mr. Michael G. Davis. How you doing, Coach?
What is going on, Prime Real Estate Rick, man? Just super excited to be here again for another Monday Night Live.
Look, man, Coach, I'm always excited, man. The highlight of my week is doing Monday Night Live Real Estate Call-In Show with you, man. So what's been going on? What's went on this past weekend? What's going on in the world of Brooks & Davis Real Estate Firm that you'd like to share with our audience?
Man, just another phenomenal week of activities. We had our town hall meeting where we were able to showcase all of the things that we have coming down the pipeline for the new year. That was an amazing time. We also I did a special training, a sphere of influence training about how to leverage and get attract leads and business out of the people that are around you. So that was great. On top of that, man, just kind of the regular stuff. Our BND TV, we knocked that out. Had a phenomenal interview on last Tuesday, and then we had a lunch presentation from a group of people that specialize in property management, short-term and long-term. So, it was just an amazing time this week, just educating the consumer, educating the agent. Oh, and then top it all off, Rick, man, we had representation. Champions Real Estate School did a career fair at their 4 campuses, all 4 of their campuses. I know you participated, I participated. We had representation across the board on all 4 campuses, man. It was something that had never been done at Brooks & Davis. So super ecstatic to be able to have representation at all 4 of those locations.
It's great, man. Big, huge shout out to everybody at Champions Real Estate School. It's always great to be able to go out, be a part of that activity, get that new energy, see all those faces, Mike, that have such a positive outlook on real estate as a career and as a journey that they want to embark on. So I love being able to come out. I love going out to Champions, and I love interacting with the students that are going to be taking their tests and that have been recently licensed.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, it was a phenomenal opportunity, man, and so glad that we could come together as a team and speak with as many prospective people as possible.
The great thing, Coach Mike, is that so many of the students that come through Champions had already had some experience with Brooks & Davis Real Estate Firm before they actually came through our booth. And I think that just shows how valuable our relationship has been with Champions. So just, Coach Mike, what is it that you get as a broker with so much experience when you get to interact with those students and those that are either newly licensed or looking to become licensed in the near future?
Well, here's the reality, Rick. Most of them come with the same challenges, the same desires, the same expectations. So it's just good being able to educate. You got this new energy coming into the business, and being able to provide them something that I may have missed out on, right? Somebody from the get-go, from the beginning, being able to tell it to me like it's going to be, right? To prepare me now, whether they believe it or not, Rick, whether they believe me or not, right? is one thing. But what I can say is that when they come across my path at this early stage in their career, we're giving them exactly what it's going to be like. We're giving them all the gems. We're giving them the exact formula that when they employ it and execute it, it could be completely life-changing for their business if they believe me and if they take action the way that we encourage them to take. So it's great to be in a position to be able to provide that.
You know, one of the added value for me as a real estate professional hosting this show alongside yourself is that I had an opportunity to invite all of the students that came by the Brooks and Davis real estate firm booth, and I invited them to check out the next episode of the Monday Night Live Real Estate Call-In Show so they can see how at Brooks and Davis the company was built on a foundation of education and mentorship. So, you know, big, huge shout out to all those Champion School of Real Estate students that's watching the Monday Night Live Real Estate Call-In Show for the first time. And Coach Mike, let's show them what they came here for, man. If you're ready, we can get to our first question from the audience.
Let's do it, man. Shout out to Rick, building up the audience.
Let's get it going. Question number 1. Hey, Coach Mike, can you provide any tips on how to identify my sphere of influence as someone new to the real estate industry? Come on, that's like it came straight from the school, man.
Hey, you know what, Rick? And it's funny, again, it may have come from someone that was able to participate in the training that we did on last Wednesday, where I just really spoke to how to find your sphere of influence. So I'm so grateful that somebody wanted me to expound some more on that training that we did. So here's the reality, Rick. Some people, they call it sphere of influence. Some people call it database. Ultimately, it's you tapping into the people that you're already connected to, the people that you know, that already know you, that already like you, that already trust you. All right. So now what they mentioned, Rick, was new to the industry, new to the real estate industry. That's not really an issue, right? Because if you're born and raised, say you're born and raised Houston, your people are already here. So now it's just a matter of compiling them, and then consistently staying in front of them, reminding them that you do real estate, and that if they need anything, or if they know anyone that needs anything real estate, they've been thinking about real estate, they've been wanting real estate, they've been needing real estate, that you just have to remind them that you're a resource for them, right? Whether doing business with you or not. Ideally, yeah, you want to be able to do business with them, but before they can begin to do business, they need to know, they need to remember that you're here. So that's really what sphere of influence is all about. It's real easy to identify them. They're already there. Right. They're the people that already know you. They already like you. They already trust you. They already care about you for the most part. Now, this is where most people run into an issue, Rick. It's when they're new to an area. If they're new to the city, right? Then at that point, how do you build it? Like, I get that a lot. It's like, oh man, I'm new to Houston. I don't know nobody, right? Well, again, it's easy. We're in the people business, Rick. Right. We're in the people business. And all we're looking for is people that want some real estate, that need some real estate, that's been thinking about some real estate. We're looking for people that in that conversation that we have with them, we flesh that out. That's all we're looking for. So if you're new to a city, it just requires you to go out there and have real estate conversations with random people. You got to go talk to people that you don't know. And through you having that conversation with people that you don't know, you're looking for those key phrases. I've been thinking real estate. I've been wanting real estate. I've been needing real estate. Or I know somebody that's been thinking, wanting, needing real estate. All right, now you want to capture those people, Rick. And they're not your sphere of influence. They're your audience. Right? So anybody, when you go out there, you don't know them, but in the conversation, in the engagement, you flesh out they need, want, been thinking, or they know somebody that need, want, been thinking. You want to capture them and plug them into your audience. Right. So now you're going to build your audience, Rick. And with your audience, what you're going to do is you're going to stay in front of them. Mm-hmm. Right? So now as you're building your audience, as you're staying in front of your audience, you're providing them valuable information, the things that you come across, you're educating them, you're inspiring them, you're informing them. While as you're doing that, you're going to start doing business with people, right? You're going to start building relationships. You're going to start meeting people. Then your sphere of influence is going to begin to form because now you're building these relationships with this audience that you're continuing to build, right? So it's still a similar format. It all requires people, and it all requires you going out every day having as many real estate conversations as possible.
It's outstanding. And that's one of the things that you talk a lot in your mentorship is having real estate conversations daily. And it's just amazing how these lessons build on top of each other.
Right.
That's why it's so important that everyone in the Monday Night Live audience takes some time to go to the B&D TV channel on YouTube, hit the subscribe button, and look at some of those past training, because it's almost like mathematics in a way.
Yeah.
One lesson builds upon the next lesson, which builds upon the next lesson. So I urge everyone in the audience to please take Coach Mike's advice. Have those real estate conversations on a daily basis. And if you feel like you need assistance as far as how to break the ice, go back, listen to those trainings about sphere of influence, because Coach Mike did a great job of giving you reasons and opportunities to have real estate conversations and how to get and ask those probing questions that could get to the point where you can have an idea of what it is that someone truly needs from you from a real estate advice perspective.
Yeah, Rick, we say it all the time, man. And I know I say it all the time. This business is easy, right? I know when people hear me say that, they kind of cringe on the inside, like, nah, man, you only got 12% people doing 10 deals a year. The bottom 33% of realtors, they do one, really 50% of realtors that are members of the Houston Association of Realtors do one or less deal a year. Like, what do you mean this business is easy? It's easy. The formula is easy. I would say the formula is simple. Let's say that. It's simple. But it's the reason that it's harder than it needs to be is because we overthink it.
Right.
We overthink it, right? But it's a very simple approach. Every day, leave your house and go talk to as many people as possible, right? Bring up real estate, have a real estate conversation with them. And the numbers are going to deliver to you what you're looking for, which is having conversations with people that are thinking, knowing, or wanting to buy real estate. Like it's simple to ignite the thing.
No, take Coach Mike's advice. You'll get a jump start in your career, and you'll be surprised how success will come to you a lot quicker than you anticipated if you heed Coach Mike's advice and start having a number of real estate conversations on a daily basis. So,
Absolutely.
Look, for all those that are new in the audience, for those first-time viewers, we thank you so much, man. We hope you're enjoying Monday Night Live Real Estate Call-In Show so far. We have other really exciting questions from our audience coming up, so let's get to question number 2.
Let's do it.
Coach Mike, what are some best practices for a situation where my client needs to sell their current home to buy their dream home, but there are concerns about the property not selling in time and the fear of having 2 mortgages, among other concerns?
Wow. You know what, man? That is a very real scenario, Rick.
Absolutely.
There are many people, they come into the business and they purchase their home. It's never intended to be their dream home. It's always been, a starter home, an opportunity to begin to generate and build wealth, build equity. They could use that equity to help them transition to the next phase. But then when you have situations like what we're experiencing now, where, the interest rates are increasing, purchase prices aren't adjusting, it's pricing people out of the market, right? So it's a shift. Well, you run into scenarios like this where it's like, well, I want to sell my house and I can capitalize and maximize off of where home prices are now, but I won't be able to buy another house because the interest rates are going to be too high. So we run into that scenario. Well, there are resources in the marketplace, and I definitely want to shout out what I do on Tuesdays and Thursdays, Real Estate Out the Box, where I go live on Instagram, Rick, and I deliver different tools and resources like the one that I'm going to talk about now, different tools and resources that'll speak to that problem that homeowner may have as it relates to, or that concern that homeowner may have as it relates to buying another house with the fear that the house that they live in will not have sold and they'll have 2 mortgages. Right. So there's one company that we have experience with. It's called Homeward. And what Homeward allows you to do, and I actually just recently spoke about them on Real Estate Out the Box. So you can go to my Instagram and look at some past posts and you'll see me talk about Homeward. Homeward, what they'll do is that you find a house that you like, you get approved through their program, they'll actually go purchase the house on your behalf. So they secure it. They allow, and they're going to purchase cash. So it makes you more competitive when competing against other people that are vying for the same house that you're vying for. Homeward's going to secure the house. Then you're going to be able to move into the house, right? So now you've moved out of your house that you're trying to sell, which we all know as real estate professionals, Rick, is going to make it more marketable, easier to market.
Yes.
Yeah, it's going to put the house in a position for us to sell it quicker, right? Well, when doing that, now you don't have that frustration and that stress on your shoulders about having two mortgages. Now you focus on selling the house, marketing the house, making the house available, right? Listening to your real estate professional and letting them do what they need to do. Get the house sold. Once you sell the house and now you pull the equity out of it, now you go and you purchase the house from Homeward. And boom, you ready to go. So that's just one example of the many. Right now my toolkit of resources, Rick, I have over 50 non-traditional tools and resources that I speak to, that I pull from, that I expose to my agents to help them help more people with whatever their real estate needs are. So, and that's just one example that we utilize when we have homeowners that are in that scenario.
And I appreciate you for sharing and giving us that nugget of that gem, because the question on its face seemed really challenging and convoluted. But that goes to show that knowledge is power. And that's why at Brooks and Davis Real Estate Firm, we always like to impress upon anyone who's interested in learning more about the brokerage that mentorship, that education piece is paramount in building a solid real estate career from the beginning. So these type of tips is something that you share, like you say, on every Tuesday, Wednesdays, Thursdays, all throughout the week on BND TV. And Coach Mike, and could you just share a little bit with our audience about how you go and you continually educate yourself so that you can always add these tools to your tool belt to bring back to the agents at Brooks and Davis Real Estate Firm?
No, absolutely, Rick. I love to. I've committed to, I subscribe to understand that everybody knows a realtor. Period. Everybody has a real estate professional that's in whether it's in their family, they went to school with them, they grew up with them, who knows? But everybody already know one. Everybody. So like I said, in Houston, you got 5 million people in Houston. Well, all 5 million of them people already know a realtor, period. So the only thing that trumps relationship, right? If you're competing for that business. The only thing that trumps relationship is value. You have to be more valuable to that person than the person that they already know that's licensed. You have to be more valuable. And the way that you become more valuable, Rick, is you become more valuable by having these non-traditional tools, these things that other people don't know about. So I'm always constantly looking for how can I help more people, more scenarios, more situations? Because every day, every week, there's new stuff, new methods, new strategies, new things new resources being introduced into the market. And the more that I know, the more that Brooks and Davis agents know, the more that we have access to as it relates to those tools that are in our toolkit, those treasures that's in our treasure chest. The more of those that we have, then guess what, Rick? When it's time to compete, the more valuable we become, which increases our chances to get chosen. So we can convert a customer to a client and now begin to serve them at the highest level because they see the value that we bring. More value to them than that relationship brings. So that's our approach, Rick.
Man, I want to thank you so much for showing and illustrating for the audience how you work through these type of situations and how you can start off with a plan and get your client to the finish line. Coach Mike, one of the best things about this show is how interactive the members of our audience are as far as submitting questions to us in real time. And anytime we get a viewer question while we're on the show live, we like to jump them and put them to the front of the line. So, Coach Mike, I have a question for Mr. Josu De Hoyos. He is a new realtor in Dallas, Texas, and he's a buyer's agent. And his question is, which contracts will be used to make the transaction moving forward as far as working with buyers?
Okay. Now, is he talking about working with buyers? He may be talking specifically about homework. So, Josiah, when if you're able to, jump in there, are you just asking specifically working with buyers or about the homework program that I mentioned specifically? And while you do that, man, we just want to shout you out. Thank you for checking us out. Right, we always want to shout out our audience, the people that's checking us out, and hopefully they're finding value in the things that we're providing for them, Rick. We believe so.
Yeah. Yeah, he want to know both, but that's super cool, Coach Mike. So, could you just illustrate for our audience a little bit about the homework program that you talk about, and just give them a quick step-by-step outline on how that process works from contract to close?
Yeah.
And then I guess his other question would be like just working with buyers in general. What type of contracts would you use in those typical buying scenarios?
Absolutely. No, definitely can do that for him. So when it comes, let's just start with the paperwork for the buyers, right? He's licensed in Dallas. That means he has access to all of the forms, right? The Texas Association of Realtors, because the Texas Association of Realtors give us all the forms that we need. It does, right? And especially as a new realtor, man, I would encourage you to get involved with your local chapter. If you're not a member of whatever the Dallas-Fort Worth Association of Realtors chapter is, get involved with them, because there's a wealth of knowledge and resources that are just kind of like the standard methods that we utilize as real estate professionals. Again, you're going to get access to all of the forms. I know here in Houston, we utilize a software called Transaction Desk, but then you also have Zip Forms, which I believe covers the entire state. And again, it gives you access to all of the forms. So, representing a buyer, some of the common forms are going to be your, buyer's representation agreement. And the buyer's representation agreement, what it does is it allows your customer to commit to you, right? See, there should only be a level of service that you provide to clients. Not everybody should be served in the same manner, right? One of the illustrations that I use all the time is that if you go into a restaurant, well, you got somebody that's just sitting there. They're not buying anything. They're not buying any drinks. They're not buying any meals. Well, why would you serve that person the same way that you're serving a person that is buying something, that is spending money in your establishment? So those two people you're going to be treated differently. And it's the same way in our business. Now, does that mean you're going to be rude? Or you're going to have negativity towards them or any of that? No, you're going to be thankful that they're in your establishment. You're going to want to encourage them and persuade them. You're going to want to provide them some level of value. Maybe you go, if it's a Mexican restaurant, man, you go slide them some chips and some salsa, right? You want to give them something, give them a glass of water. But if they're not going to spend any money with you, then there's still only a level of service that you're going to give them. But when somebody's spending money, right? When somebody's buying, when somebody's interacting, then there's extra things, man. They may be able to get into the rewards program. They may be able to, you may slot them a couple extra mints, right? Mm-hmm. You're going to treat them different. So for us, the way that a person shows us they go from customer to client, they do that with the paperwork. So for buyers, we use the buyer's representation agreement for people to show us that they're committed to us. So then we can commit ourselves to them. Right. I tell my agents all the time, why would you commit to somebody that's not committed to you? That sounds like a toxic relationship. We got all these agents coming into the marketplace, putting themselves in toxic relationships, and they wonder why they're getting out of here. Don't do that. So as far as the forms, again, look into Zip Forms, the Texas Association of Realtors, and it lays out all the different forms you're going to use when working with your buyer. The biggest one being the buyer's rep agreement. Okay, so now when it comes to homework, here's the catch, Rick. there really isn't any additional forms. You're still going to use the same contracts that you use if you're just working with we'll say a traditional seller or a traditional buyer. Just in this instance, Homeward is the client. Homeward is the company whose information that you will plug into the paperwork, right? The buyer slash seller would have to be approved through Homeward's program. So there's some documentation as it relates to their program that you would have to go through. But when it comes to just the real estate transaction itself, we're just going to use the same forms and the same documents to finalize the transaction.
Hey, look, man, great answer. And that's an outstanding question by Mr. DeHoyas. I want to thank him so much for submitting that question from the viewer portal because, Coach Mike, we asked at the beginning of every show for those checking us out to get involved and submit questions. So a big, huge shout out to Joe, man. Big, huge. I hope you great success in Dallas, man. Thank you so much for submitting that question.
Yeah, he checking us out. He checking us out on YouTube, man, on our YouTube live. So yeah, definitely. And if you have any questions, Mr. DeHoyas, please feel free to reach out to us. You don't have to be shy about it, man. Clearly, we're a wealth of knowledge and we're open to giving it out. So check in with us.
The best thing about Coach Mike is that we've had a chance to answer questions from the viewers, answer questions that have been submitted through Facebook and YouTube. And that's exactly what the purpose of this show is. And I'm just so proud of being able to build this platform and service the community in the way that we're able to service. We've gotten to the part of the show, Coach Mike, where you talk about what's going on this week at Brooks and Davis Real Estate Firm, what's going on this week on BND TV, and just spotlighting all of the activities and all of the work that goes on over at the offices at Brooks and Davis. So for our audience, could you just start to let us know what's going on this week, what we can expect from not only you, but BND TV as a whole?
No, absolutely, Rick. I mean, it's one of my favorite parts of the show. Is being able to make everyone aware of what's going on. One of our partners over at Patent Title, they're having a women's brunch on tomorrow. So we highly encourage you all to, if you're familiar with Patton and Aldridge, go over there and check them out. It's going to be a phenomenal brunch, leading women in real estate. They're going to be speaking, and that's going to be on tomorrow, beginning at 10 o'clock. All right. So then also tomorrow, Rick, what we're going to be doing is we're going to obviously do our BND TV, right? Super excited about all the different digital shows that we're able to present into the marketplace. Very special guest, Miss Ashley Mayberry. She's a realtor plus an entrepreneur. You are going to want to hear her story. She's doing some really big things in the real estate marketplace. She's just been recently licensed, but she has connections with new home builder space. And she has a lot of energy that she brings to the table. So when you hear her story, and the things that she's been able to achieve and accomplish, and just how excited she is about being in this marketplace, I promise you, you're going to get a lot out of it. All right. So then also tomorrow, Rick, we're going to be doing our Real Estate Happy Hour live. It's one of our shows where we go live on Facebook and YouTube, just like our other digital shows. And the one about this one is just, real estate professionals talking about randomness, right? It gives you a great break in the day, where you can just come together with friends. It's like Cheers, right? Where everybody knows your name. You come into the place. We just talk about different scenarios and things that's going on in the marketplace. What's trending on Twitter, right? Some trending topics, some events. We'll even give out some great information for consumers, as well as real estate professionals. And we have a good time doing it. It's fun and lighthearted podcast show. And we do it every Tuesday at 2:30. So we're going to be doing that at 2:30 tomorrow, Rick. And then also, Rick, what we're going to be doing is, like I said before, every Tuesday and Thursday, I showcase these non-traditional tools and resources, for people who want to buy or sell a home that most people probably don't know about. I showcase that once a week, but every Tuesday and Thursday I go live. So if people have questions, they have comments, they want to learn more about these programs and how to use them in their business or for themselves, that I make myself available and accessible on IG. So if they're not following me on Instagram, they need to go ahead and do it at CEO Coach Mike. So you'll get notified when I go live, and you'll be able to see the previous episodes that I've done of Real Estate Out the Box. And then on Wednesday, we have Jackson Henry. It's a mortgage company coming in. We're going to be having lunch with them. We like having lunch with our partners, right? So we're going to be doing that And they're going to be talking about their same day pre-qual, how they fund the commission check at closing, as well as their exceptional knowledge around conventional FHA, VA, and the other loan products. So they're very well versed with all the different loan products that are in the marketplace. So come have lunch with representatives from Jackson Henry on Wednesday at our corporate coaching and training center. It's going to be in person, and we're going to be doing online. And then right after that, we're going to be jumping into our new agent orientation, something that we do twice a month. New agent orientation is designed so for when our new agents come in, they can avoid the pain of feeling lost. They're going to learn how to get their business cards, badges, other items, right? They're going to meet the core leadership team. They're going to get connected to their tools, emails, resources. We're going to get them signed up with the coaching, get them signed up with the mentoring. So it's like when they come into our company, they're not trying to feel their way around. They're deliberately connected to everything that they're going to need to begin to jumpstart their business. So we really like to showcase the fact that we do our new agent orientation twice a month. All right. And then after new agent orientation, again, we have Mr. Aldridge Jack. They're having a breakfast survey class one-on-one. I believe this one does offer CE credit. Again, it's going to be at their patent title location. And it just says, have you ever thought about learning how to read surveys? I think it's great. It's another one of those knowledge bases that I believe real estate professionals, especially new real estate professionals, take for granted. So when you can take a class like this, you can go learn about some of the different tools and nuances as, say, like the survey. Then you can provide more value and knowledge to your transactions. All right. So then Rick, we have the Lunch and Learn from the Houston Black Real Estate Association. We do it once a month. Again, that's an organization that's near and dear to my heart. In 2 years, I'm going to be the president of the Houston chapter. Super excited about that. We're about democracy and housing. We feel that if anybody wants to transact in this thing called real estate, they should have the ability to do it. They should be able to attain home ownership. That's what we're about. And you don't have to be Black, Rick, to be a part of the organization. You just got to believe what we believe. And we believe that home ownership is for everybody. So we have our financial coach, Michael J. Brown, is our featured guest, as well as the owner of Yes to Real Estate. He's going to talk some investing. We're going to be talking about what's your exit plan? Like, what are we going to do after real estate for our real estate professionals? Right. So you don't feel like that you're in this thing for your entire life. Like I see some people in real estate, and nothing against them, Rick, but I look at them, I'm like, man, I think it's time for you to hang it up. I don't foresee myself working, to my grave in real estate. At some point you got to retire. So this is great information that people need to be exposed to so they can just do that they can transition themselves out of this business and live a great life. So that's going to be on Thursday at 11 o'clock. And then, Rick, you all have your Prime Real Estate Network, man. So you want to talk about, who your guest is going to be for this week?
No, absolutely. And most importantly, I want to invite everyone in the audience to check out the Prime Real Estate Network podcast. You can go to the Prime Real Estate Network podcast channel on YouTube. You can also see some clips and excerpts on the BND TV channel as well. Great thing about the Prime Real Estate Network is hosted by myself and the other co-founder of Brooks & Davis Real Estate Firm, Mr. Larry W. Brooks, the Texas Real Estate King. And what we do on Thursdays is introduce our audience to the latest and greatest as far as real estate practitioners and those operating in the real estate sphere. So if you would like to add to your Rolodex of real estate professionals every Thursday, check out the Prime Real Estate Network podcast, because you'll see the finest as far as lending, appraisal, inspections, and those realtors and real estate practitioners from all over the world. So check us out Thursday, the Prime Real Estate Network channel on YouTube. Thanks a lot, Coach Mike.
Absolutely, Rick. Great job. Great job. Couldn't have said it better. All right. So also this Thursday, we're going to be doing our real estate career night. Fresh off of the Champions Career Fair, we go right into our career night that we do once a month. This is something that I was able to share to the people that were in attendance at the location that I was. I was at the North location, and I would tell them like, hey, one day out of the month, I'm not just Brooks & Davis's broker. I'm the industry's broker. All right. So if your broker won't answer your questions, I'm the broker that's got your back. I got you. Right. So that's what we do. It's in person and it's virtual. So people can meet me in person at our coaching and training center, our corporate office over by NRG, or they can jump on Instagram live, and I'll go live at 5 o'clock on that Thursday as well. So it's a way to engage with me. It's a way to get questions answered. It's a way to get more insight, more wisdom. It's just one of those things that I'm very intentional about, Rick. It's just being able to be accessible to the marketplace and to help people. So we're doing that on Thursday, Real Estate Career Night. And then we have our, no, go back. Go forward. All right. Well, that's Saturday, but we have another event on Thursday. We have our HUD certificate class. You had it up earlier. There we go. All right. So we got our HUD certificate class. So the orientation is on Thursday and the actual class is on Friday. So for those and the HUD certificate class, what it does is it allows people to get connected to resources, right? There's a lot of resources in our marketplace that people can tap into that can help them in their dream and their journey of home ownership. So through the Houston Black Real Estate Association, we're the only organization that offers this class at no cost, right? And it's the full 8-hour class where you get the HUD certificate that you can use to tap into the different down payment assistance resources, the different new construction programs where you can get them at a massive discount. Just all of the different closing costs. You know, there are 501(c)s that want to contribute towards your closing costs. Well, all of them require that education, a certified education class, homeownership education class. And this class qualifies for all of them. So we encourage people to take advantage. So we have our orientation this Thursday. And then on the Saturday is when you actually have to take the class. All right. So, and also on Saturday, we have our pre-home buyer session where we take about 45 minutes and we're going to make sure you're on the right path to owning a home. We know that there's a lot of people that have questions. When they get into it, they're not sure if they're ready. They're not sure if they have enough money saved up. They're not sure if their debt, you know, if they have too much debt. Like, they're just not sure. Like, they don't know. So because of that, Rick, we wanted to, on a monthly basis, have something out in the marketplace that people could engage with. All right. It's not the HUD class, right? Because the people that go to the HUD certificate class, you already need to be able to be pre-approved. This right here is for somebody that don't know. They don't know if they ain't talked to the lender, or they talked to the lender and they had questions, and like they just need to get answers as far as if they're ready. That's what the pre-home buyer session is about, and that's who it's for. If you already know what you need to work on, if you already know, you know, as far as your buying power, then you don't need to attend this. But if you don't know, you don't have a clue, you haven't talked to anybody about anything.
Right.
This is the event that they need to participate in. And we're going to do this on Saturday at 11 o'clock. And like I said, we spend about 45 minutes. You're going to learn about home ownership. You'll learn about credit. You'll learn about debt elimination. When you walk out of here, you're going to know exactly what your immediate next step is. And you probably will have spoken to the person that can assist you with that immediate next step. So we really encourage people. Again, this is another one of those in person. You can meet at our corporate coaching and training center that's near NRG, or it is going to be virtual as well. So the consumer can get access to it virtually. All you got to do is just scan that QR code. So that's our pre-home buyer session. And like I said earlier, we don't need to show the flyer again, but you know, the HUD certificate class, the actual class, is going to be on Saturday as well. So, but yeah, man. So that was that's all. That's what we got, man. We got a lot coming down the pipeline, Rick, as you can see.
No, and I thank you so much for going into such detail, because one of the great things that I had a chance to promote while we were at Champions School of Real Estate was our monthly Brooks and Davis calendar of events. So it's nice to know that Coach Mike can definitely walk it like we talk it and follow through on the things we promise. So Follow Coach Mike at CEO Coach Mike on Instagram. You can follow me at Prime Real Estate Rick on Instagram. Follow Brooks and Davis on Instagram and BND TV on YouTube, man. It's been a great show, Coach Mike, man. And in closing, do you have any final words for our audience this week, sir?
Man, and you brought up about that calendar, man. And that was one of the things that I was really proud to be able to tell people about. Because when they hear me say, yeah, we do about 8 to 10 events per week, their eyes they're like, what? What are you talking about? Right. And it's just having the ability when it comes to social media and the different lives that we do, it just allows us to connect with more people more of the time, right? Gives more people an opportunity to engage with us, whether they're already agent members or whether they're not, just being a part of our ecosystem. So we're glad that we have the ability to be able to do that.
That's outstanding, Coach, man. I want to thank you so much because just like our viewer said when he commented that the work that you're doing is invaluable and you're providing so many realtors with an avenue to ask those questions in real time that they may not feel comfortable asking some people that they work with or people that they've been around as far as it being in the real estate space. So I want to thank you again, Coach Mike. I can't wait till our next episode. Everybody, please stay tapped in, like, subscribe, and share. On behalf of myself, Rick Davis, and CEO Coach Mike, Mr. Michael G. Davis, I want to thank everyone out there in the audience for tuning into Monday Night Live. And until next time on this show, please, everyone out there in the audience, be safe and be blessed.